Let's start. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kujantam Rama Rameti Madhuram Madhuraksharam Aruhya Kavita Shakham Vande Valmiki Kokilam Manojavam Marutatulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutha Mukhyam Sriramadutam Shirasa Namami Apadam Apahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Dakshine Lakshmano Yasya Vame Cha Janakatmaja Purato Marutir Yasya Tam Vande Raghunandanam. Welcome back. I think we haven't met in a couple of weeks. Is my video clear? I feel it is hazy. It's clear? Okay, good. For some reason, to me it appears hazy. But I'm not wearing my glasses, I guess. All right. So we're going to continue with chapter 40 and 41. And the very first verse of chapter 40 begins with Marichasya pitad vakyam kshamam yuktam cha ravanaha ukto na pratijagraha martum kama iva ushadham. That after hearing Maricha's advice, that was filled with good, sensible, and reasonable words, Ravana did not accept that advice. And the analogy given is just as a person who wishes to die rejects medicine. Pratijagraha martum kama iva aushadham. It's a good phrase to remember. Pratijagraha. Jagraha means to hold. Jagraha means to hold tightly. And pratijagraha means one who rejects it quickly or vehemently rejects. Martukama, one who wishes to die. Iva aushadham, one who rejects medicine because they want to die. Similarly, Ravana, although one may say Ravana does not want to die, but the rejection is that medicine and good advice, right? Medicine repairs the body and good advice repairs the mind, or the subtle body, if you will. And therefore, the Bhagavad Gita is medicine for the subtle body. Yet Ravana rejected, even because it's coming from Marica. He said, I don't want this kind of advice. And then angrily, he speaks to Marica. He says, he took on the persona as if he is Yamaraj, the Lord of Death, and looked at Maricha and gave him a little lesson in etiquette. Sometimes, now here the etiquette is a little difficult to decipher. Obviously, he is the king. So yes, Maricha should follow the order and the etiquette required to converse with the king. At the same time, Maricha is his uncle. So from a social perspective or a familial perspective, Maricha is his superior. But from a administrative perspective, Ravana is the king. Right? Similar to Daksha's situation, where Daksha thought he's the father-in-law, he is superior to Lord Shiva, but in the grand scheme of things, he is like a mustard seed in front of Lord Shiva. Just because of that relationship, he thought, oh, I'm the father-in-law. I am superior to him. Similarly, here, Ravana is invoking his sense of authority and hierarchy. And contrast to this is Sri Ramachandra, which one of the verses we've heard previously is Shila Vriddhai, Jnana Vriddhai, Vayo Vriddhascha. Rama would respect anyone in terms of their realization, their knowledge, and or age. He was very, very particular. Not Ravana. So Ravana looked at Maricha and said, all the words you said to me are completely meaningless and worthless. It's like throwing seeds in a wasteland. Those seeds don't fructify because the land is useless. It has no value. Similarly, you're speaking useless, worthless words. And if you're trying to scare me, please understand, I don't get scared by these small things, especially you're trying to intimidate me about a human being. The great demigods don't scare me. What will a human being scare me? And that too, what kind of human being? That Rama who just left Ayodhya because some woman asked for something, gave up his kingdom, gave up his friends, relatives, mother and father, and such a person who, for one word that the mother said, supposedly, he gave up everything. What will he fight? Real Kshatriya means he fights for his rights. So don't try to scare me. I'm not afraid. But yeah, that Sita is dearer to him than his own life. And definitely, she is someone that I want to capture. And you know, this Rama, the way I punish Rama is by abducting or kidnapping his wife because unnecessarily he killed Khara. There was no reason, there was no purpose. So my decision is now firm, and I'm not going to withdraw from this plan that I've decided upon, that I will abduct Sita as my way of avenging the death of Kharadushna, Trishara, and 14,000 of my army because they were unnecessarily attacked. And Maricha, you gave me a big lecture on weigh the pros and cons, what is beneficial and what is not beneficial. Uh, you know, you're giving me advice, but I never asked you. Why are you giving me useless advice? Not only useless, unsolicited advice, right? Advice should only be given when asked for. Uh, Advice, when it is not asked for, should not be given. That's a general principle or rule. So he's saying, why are you giving me? I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you, Maricha, what do you think about this idea? No. I told you what I wanted. And I think you have violated a very important etiquette here. If someone is speaking to the king, the right way to speak to the king is to fold one's hands with their head bowed down and speak in a way that is proper. You can't address the king and say, oh, this is a foolish idea. You're going to die from this. You're going to kill all of your, or you'll be the cause for the killing of all your family. It's not how you speak. Hmm? And then he says, Vakyam apratikulam tu mrudupurvam shubham hitam. Even if you're speaking something that is unpleasant, apratikulam, that should be spoken mrudu, with some gentleness or sweetness, softness. Shubham. You should speak in a way that the king feels that it is in his good. And hitam, which is beneficial for the king. But apacharena yukta sa vaktavyo Vasudha Adhipa, the king of the master of the earth, you cannot speak apacharena yukta. Apachara. Chara means behavior. Therefore, we say charitrena, by one's proper or good behavior. And apachara means bad behavior. So, speaking to the king without expression of humility and supplication, both physically and in your mind, body, mind, and words, if you don't do it, it's considered a great apachara, a violation of etiquette. And if it's not going to please the king, you should not speak it. This king, actually, king represents 5 demigods and their potency. Pancharupani Rajano Dharayanti Amita Ojasaha. Amita means endless. Ojasa is power, sensual power. And who are these 5 demigods? Agnehe, Indrasya, Somasya, Yamasya, Varunasya cha. The king represents the power of these 5 demigods. So I'll read the verse again. Pancharupani Rajano Dharayanti Amita Ojasaha Agnehe Indrasya Somasya Yamasya Varunasya cha. And then he explains what are these 5 powers that the king has by which he administrates. First he says, Aushnyam tatha vikramam cha. Saumyam danda prasannatam. Dandam prasannatam. Dharayanti mahatmano rajanakshanadacharaha. Tasmat sarvasu avasthasu manyaha pujyaha cha parthivaha. Therefore, tasmat sarvasu, under all circumstances, avasthashu, in any condition, manyaha, one should always respect, pujyaha, one should worship, cha parthivaha, all the kings. They're respectful because aushnyam. So Agni and aushnyam. Aushnyam means the power of heating. In Bhagavad Gita, we are used to hearing Sita Ushna, Sitoshna Sukha Dukkha cha. So Sita means cooling, not Sita, but Sita, cooling, Sita. And Ushna means heat. So the king is such that by his presence, others feel the heat of being in his presence. That's why people sweat out of nervousness, because it's powerful. So Aushnyam. Aushnyam is the quality of heat. His power is such that the king can burn anyone in his presence. Tatha Vikramam cha. So Agna Indra. Indra and Vikrama, because Indra is very, very powerful and very capable of fighting any battle. So he has great virility and strength. Somasya. Why is the king compared or has the power of the moon? Saumyam. He can be very calming. He can forgive. He can relieve other people's suffering by giving them what they desire, etc. So Saumyam. Yamasya. So the quality of Yama is Dandam, punishment. Therefore, you find that the king sits on a big throne and always holds the rod of punishment. If you notice in the conversation between Jadabharata and Rahugana, one of the things Jadabharata chastises Rahugana is, just because you are the king and you hold the rod of punishment, it's called the scepter. Yeah? It doesn't mean that you can do whatever you like in a way that satisfies your own ego. So dandam, a king has to punish. What kind of a king if they are not able to punish the wrongdoers? Because without discipline, without law, we say law and order. Without any law, there cannot be order. And one who hesitates from providing or inflicting the proper punishment, then the persons will not become uplifted from it. So even the great kings, however great they are, they will also offer punishment. So dandam. And finally, prasannatam, the quality to please by their presence, by their audience. People are pleased. And that is Varuna. Because when rains fall, the living entities are pleased. They're satiated. They feel very relieved, calmed. So he says, Dharayanti Mahatmanaha Rajan. So the king bears these qualities. So Marica, you didn't understand the power and the position of a king. The king is called Naradevata, is the demigod among human beings. And he says, you're just babbling words with all your useless advice. And you have completely violated the stance and the behavior in front of a king. And he says again, I did not ask you to give me a speech on what is right, what is wrong, what is good for me, what is bad for me. I don't need all this from you. In fact, I came to you asking you only one thing, that I am going to do something and I need your hand. I need your helping hand. I need you to help. I am not requesting you. Please, if you are confused, let me make it clear, Maricha. I'm not requesting you. I'm ordering you. So you don't have an option to not follow. So here's what you're going to do. Sauvarnaha tvam mrigo bhutva. You'll become a golden deer. Chitro rajata bindubihi. And you will have very beautiful silver spots on you. Chitra rajata, beautiful silver bindubihi, spots. Ashrametasya ramasya sitayaha pramukhe chara. Pramukhe means right in front of. In front of their ashram, I want you to move here and there so that Sita and Ramachandra will see you. Pralobhayitva vaidehim yatha ishtam gantumarhasi. And pralobhayitva means to attract her, attract Sita by your beauty, and she will fall for you because you're very attractive. As a pet, as an animal she wants to keep. And slowly I want you to move away. Tvam hi maya mayam drashtva kanchana jata vismaya. By seeing the glittering effulgence, she will become bewildered. Vismaya, she will wonder. And at that time, quickly run away. And apakrante chakakusthe duram cha tvaya api udahara. And when you run far away, Ramachandra will follow you. And then if he kills you, which at some point he will, api udaharaha, then I want you to say, Ha Site Lakshmane iti eva Rama Vakya Anurupakam. In the voice of Ramachandra, I want you to shout, Ha Sita Lakshmana. Very, very specific, detailed plan. And then he says, Tachrutva Rama Padavim Sitaya cha prachoditaha Anugachanti Sambhramtam Saumitrihi api Sauhrdataha. So when Lakshmana will hear When Sita and Lakshmana will hear you say, ah, Sita, Lakshmana, Sita will ask Lakshmana to follow that voice. Okay. And when Lakshmana goes away, Aharishyami Vaidehim Sahasrakshah Sachim Iva. I will kidnap Sita just like Indra kidnapped uh, Shachi Devi. Now, I don't know the backstory. I didn't get time to research how Shachi Devi was kidnapped by Indra. But here's a very delightful connection that I want to share with you. Ravana is now going to kidnap Sita from the forest when Ramachandra's attention is not on her. And even Lakshmana has gone away. This Ravana will take birth as Shishupal. And because he has such attraction for Sita Devi, Ravana, when he becomes Shishupala, he gets the opportunity to send invitation cards for his marriage to Rukmini Devi. But Rukmini Devi's heart is with Krishna. And out of the blue, Krishna appears in that assembly and kidnaps Rukmini right from that assembly. It's a tit for tat. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tathaiva bhajamyaham. If Ravana kidnapped Ramachandra's consort, then Lord Shri Krishna reclaims his consort from Shishupal. Very beautiful. The only difference is Ravana did it like a coward when Ramachandra and Lakshmana were not around. Krishna and Balaram came and took Rukmini away right in the presence of all the kings, except that Krishna came at such speed and swiftness and did it in one action, just swept Rukmini off her feet, literally, that Shishupal and others were just shocked. Before they could recover from what had just happened, Krishna, Balaram, and Rukmini were far away. Same characters and different appearances. So then Ravana, Eva Muktva, he says, having spoken thus, he told Marica, Idam karyam yatha ishtam gachha rakshasa. Now go happily and do this. I know you're not happy, but I want you to do it happily. And if you do it, Rajasya Ardham Prasadasyami. I will gift you half of my kingdom. Marica, tava suvrataha. Suvrata means you will fulfill your promise. And now he says, O gentle Marica, Gacha Saumya, Shivam Margam. Shivam Margam, go in this auspicious path. Karyasya Asya Vivridhaya, and go and complete your task successfully. And Aham tu Anugamishyami Saratho Dandakavanam. I will follow you on my chariot into Dandaka forest. Go, Saumya, oh gentle Marica, let all success be to you in this very wonderful activity or task that I have given you. And after I get Sita, I will take her to Lanka. And you can also join me in Lanka. Oh, by the way, Marica, I'm not giving you the option to say no. If you do, I will kill you right now. So no is not an option. Nachet karoshi Marica hanmi tvam aham adyavai. Adya means today itself, right now. Hanmi, I will kill you. If nachet karoshi, if you do not do. Etat karyam avashyam me balad api karishyasi. You will do it and I will get it done through you by force. And ragyo hi pratikulastho najatu sukham edate. For a person who violates the order of a king can never be happy. You will never find happiness flourish in your life. This is like Chand Kazi or the Muslim leader telling Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, you join my kingdom as my chief and finance ministers. And if you don't, I will systematically kill all the Vaishnavas in the land. You choose what you want. And obviously, they didn't want the Vaishnavas to die, so they chose to serve the Muslim king. Here, we may ask, huh? Marica could have said, Ravana, kill me. I will not do something. But he did. So why did he do so? And that's in the next chapter, chapter 41. So despite being spoken to Marica this way, Marica did not easily let go. He thought, okay, anyway, I'm going to die in this fellow's hands. Before I die, let me see if I have one final opportunity to teach him something. But this time, Marica did not supplicate, or he just spoke very, very angrily, sarcastically. Parusham Vakyam. Parusha means that which evokes a sense of anger. He says, oh Ravana, I don't understand what is going on inside your head, that you're speaking words that are sinful and self-destructive. And I don't know who in your kingdom, which minister has given you such terrible advice. Apparently, some minister is unhappy with you. So they are taking revenge by giving you bad advice, and you foolishly are going to follow it. And you have decided, you've written your own death wish by wanting to confront Sri Ramachandra. And a person who wants his own death wish is a scoundrel. Even one, either you've got really bad advice, or on your own, you're just a scoundrel. And it's unfortunate that your own ministers are not stopping you. No one's saying, Ravana, I'm afraid that you might kill me. Yet, I think it's a bad idea. And he says, bad ministers will not restrain the king. But if you had been restrained by your ministers, even if your will was to do something bad, your ministers could have saved you. And then he gives very good advice. He says, Dharmam, Artham cha Kamam cha, Yashah cha Jayatam Varaha, Swami Prasadat Sachivaha, Prapnuvanti Nishacharaha. Oh, Nishachara, oh, demon of the night. For you to achieve in life, or for that matter, anyone, to achieve dharma, artha, kama, and yashaha. Okay. You can only get this, or a person can only get this if the master gives it to them. So, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, we're used to those four. He's using the word yashaha. So, one may say, why is he talking about yasha? There is a commentator of the Ramayana by the name Ramatilaka, very famous commentator. In Tilaka's commentary, he makes a distinction between Yashaha and Kirti. Both have the same meaning, it means fame. But he makes this distinction and he says, Yashaha Swadesha Khyati, Kirti Deshantara Khyati. So within one's own country, the fame that one gets is called Yasha. One who becomes known in other countries internationally, that is called Kirti. So Yasha is more contained geographically. Kirti is across or no geographical limitations. Then there is another commentator by the name Kulluka Bhatta. And he says, Jivatah khyati rupam yashaha, mrityasya khyati rupam kirtim. So whatever fame one gets when they are alive is called yashaha. And whatever fame continues after their death is called kirti. So here, Ravana is being told that if you want to be famous and you want to live opulently, then you will only get this if you don't go and destroy it on your own. And he says, Viparyaye tu tat sarvam vyartham bhavati Ravana. Viparyaye, if you do something against this advice, sarvam vyartham bhavati Ravana. Everything will be wasted. All that you've worked for, the power that you've received, the mantras, the weapons, the kingdom, the glory, the 500 wives of great, great persons, the whole universe is scared of you because Ravana, you will completely destroy it by one stupid act of facing off with Ramachandra. And he says, Raja Mulo hi dharma, na jayah cha jayatam varaha. He says, the king is the cause for everyone's dharma and victory in life. If the king himself is degraded, then the citizens will also get degraded. And he says, you cannot rule a kingdom, however powerful you are, with tikshna, the sense of intensity that is hurtful, and pratikulena, and avanitena. Pratikula means something that's not beneficial for your citizens, and avanitena, by immorality. You cannot. So he said, please, I'm asking you one more time, don't do it. And he says, please, please don't do it. And he gives other advices. Then he says, as far as my life is concerned, I don't see that you are the cause of my death, just as much as the crow and fox reality. So there is a phrase in Sanskrit. It's called niti. For example, we say Sita Devi is more merciful than Ramachandra, or the Vaishnavas are more merciful than the Supreme Lord. It should not mean that we are putting down the Lord. This nyaya, that's the word, not niti. Nyaya means aphorism that says nahi ninda nyaya. The idea is just to show the greatness of one without blaspheming the other. Although we use phrases like that. Another nyaya that Prabhupada talked about is the half-hand logic, ardha kukuti nyaya. Like that, there is a nyaya called kaka taliyam nyaya. Kaka is crow, taliyam is the tala tree. So here's what had happened apparently. It's called Kakatalya Nyayam. Kakataliya Nyayam. One day, a fox who was wandering around in the forest got hurt for some reason, and the forest was very, very hot because of the midday sun. So it found a tal tree and sat at the base of the tree under its shade. Although tal trees are not meant for giving shades because the leaves are high up, this fox sat there. As soon as the fox sat there, a crow landed on the branch of the tal tree. And as soon as the crow landed, the tal fruit fell from the tree and hit the fox. Now, tal tree or the tal fruit has a very, very strong stem by which it holds the tree. So tal fruit doesn't just fall because a crow landed. It falls because it's become ripe and now the stem has become weak and fallen. So this is the phraseology in statistics we use, correlation without causation. It looks like one thing happened, another thing happened. They look correlated, but they're not caused by one or the other. So correlation without causation. One thing we learn in statistics is just because you take two variables and there seems to have some correlation, it does not mean that there has to be causation. So this is that. So Marica says to Ravana, I'm not holding you responsible. This what is going to happen in my life, that I'm going to get killed by Ramachandra, you're not the cause for it. This is like the Kaka Taliya Nyaya. There's no causation here, it's just correlated. And he says that Ramachandra first will kill me and then he will kill you. And dying in his hands is better than dying in your hands. Mam nihatyatu Ramo aso achirat tvam vadhishyati. He will kill me and very soon, achirat, kill you. Anena kritakrityosmi. So my life has become successful. Kritakrityascha. Asmin mriyecha api arinaha hataha. I would rather die in the hands of the enemy, Ramachandra. This word kritakritya appears at the end of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna says, one who realizes me as Purushottama, kritakrityascha bharata, such a person becomes kritakritya, the perfect in his actions. That they have fulfilled the means or the goal of their life. And he says, darshanateva ramasya hatam mam avadhyaya, avadharaya, atmanam cha hatam vidhi, hatva sitam sabandhavan. And he says, just when Ramachandra notices me, I will die. You should take that as a heralding call that you will also die. That's the indication. In Narasimha Purana, Marica says the same thing in a different way. He says, Ramat api martavyam. I will die in the hands of Ramachandra. Martavyam Ravanat api. I will die in the hands of Ravana also. Ubhayot api martavye. Either way, I'm going to die. Varam Ramat na Ravanat. So better to die in Ramachandra's hands than Ravana's. Because it will benefit me. Even death will benefit me. If I die in Ravana's hands, then death will not benefit me. So therefore he says, Anaishyasi chet sitam ashramat sahito maya na eva tvam asi na eva aham na eva lankam na rakshasa. Okay. If you bring Sita from her ashrama to Lanka, na eva tvam asi, you will not live. Na eva aham, I will also not live. Na eva Lanka, Lanka will also be finished. Na rakshasaha, all the rakshasas will also die. What a fantastic, prophetic, far-sighted advice he has given Ravana. And final word of, he says, one final chance. He says, Nivaryamana tu maya hita eshina. Nivarayana. Somehow I'm seeing if this whole situation can be avoided because I hold your welfare. Na mrishyase vakyam idam nishachara. Don't neglect. Don't neglect what I'm telling you. Pareta kalpahi gata ayusho naraha. Pareta kalpa. Pareta means like a corpse. Kalpa, imagined or thought or similar to. Pareta kalpahi gata ayusho nara. He says people's life when they see someone dead, if all your people will die, if you're going to die, then dead bodies cannot take good advice. Pareta kalpa higata ayusho nara hitam na grinhanti sahrudbhi iritam. Even if someone wants to give advice, if they have already dead, if they've already decided to die, they will not take such good advice. So with that, we complete chapter 41. So let's see if there are any questions or comments. Today I covered the important lessons in the commentary itself. So any thoughts, comments, concerns, questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Radha.
Hare Krishna, Radha.
So, over here, Marica is saying that it's better to die at Lord Ram's hand, Lord Ram's hands than Ravana's. But wouldn't it be better to die at Ravana's hands, because Lord Marica is dying in Lord Ram's hands, but staying loyal to Ravana. But when he's gonna die in Ravana's hands, he's staying loyal to Lord Rama. But at the same time, also, isn't he, if he is dying at Ravana's hands, isn't he also not making the demons die? Because if he hadn't been the golden deer, then Ram wouldn't have killed all the demons. So which one is the right choice?
Dying in Ramachandra's hands is always a good choice. And by his dying in Ramachandra's hands, all the Rakshasas are also going to die. And by Rakshasas being killed by Ramachandra, the entire universe is going to be benefited. So this sense of loyalty that one may have is a false sense of loyalty. It's very limited. This loyalty that you're referring to, Radha, is like Karna's loyalty. He was very misplaced. Karna was loyal to Duryodhana because Duryodhana helped him, no doubt. But from that loyalty, he became blind. That Duryodhana was going to destroy the very person who's the embodiment of dharma. So that kind of loyalty is not good. So for example, let's say in our life, we were helped by somebody and that somebody saved our life. So we owe our life to them, just hypothetically speaking, because the question is about marriage is also hypothetical. So we owe our life to somebody who helped us. Now, if that person decides to be a suicide bomber, I don't think we're going to say, you know what, I owe you my life, so you're going to be a suicide bomber, then I have to keep quiet because I owe you my life. No, that loyalty is horrible. Stop them. So Marica takes on to benefit himself and to benefit the entire universe. And by Ravana being killed in Ramachandra's hand, Ravana is also going to get benefited because he's going to get liberated from it.
Everybody's going to get liberated.
Huh?
So everybody's basically going to get liberated.
Yeah. So isn't that a better thing to do than to think of loyalty in a very limited forum or limited sphere?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why Maricha said, I will get to see Ramachandra. If I die in this fellow's hands, I'll get to see Ravana. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavana. Why should I see Ravana? I'd rather see.
So what about Jatayu? He died at the hands of Ravana, though, right?
Right, but he's in service to Ramachandra. Very active service to Ramachandra, trying to protect Sita. Open your mind to multiple dimensions, not just he's dying in the hands of Ravana or dying in the hands of Ramachandra.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question relating to Lakshman and the authenticity retreat that Maharaj did, and you presented at as well. I have to confess that I've not heard your class yet on Ramayan, and I plan to. So maybe
good for you.
So maybe you address this. Lakshman had to do many things in his life that he didn't want to do in service to Lord Ram, such as taking Mother Sita to the forest and leaving her there, building a funeral pyre or a pyre for her to enter. So how is he being authentic in doing those things?
The fire that he lit for Sita was on the order of Sita. So just a detail. It was not Ramachandra's order, it was Sita's order. Ramachandra actually told her, you can go away. I've done my part, you can go away. You can marry Vibhishana, you can marry Lakshmana, Bharata, anyone you want to marry, anyone in the universe, you're free to go away. There's a whole purpose to that conversation, not today, but some other time. It requires a lot of unpacking. So Lakshmana, he's being authentic that one, Ramachandra is his worshipable master and king, regardless of Bharata sitting on the throne, following the order of the king. Now, it's not that Lakshmana sees something as wrong and did not advise. He has advised Ramachandra in many occasions, on many occasions, including this one. The fact that he is very quiet means he's very disturbed. In that disturbance, there is one thing that's prevailing for him, that Ramachandra knows better. And he has to follow the order of Ramachandra, although very painfully, because there is a larger picture that is unfolding, which he may or may not know fully, which we don't know if he is supposed to or not supposed to. No, Valmiki doesn't spoon feed us everything, because it's poetry, right? And in poetry, that's why I always failed in English poetry, because I never understood what the poet is trying to convey. He says one thing, but the meaning is something else altogether. So Valmiki very nicely, intricately does it in such a way that we feel for Lakshmana. Like, oh my gosh, he could have said, I will not do this. But he followed the order. He followed the order because his mother had told him that Ramachandra is your Ramam Dasaratham Vidhi. Mam Vidhi Janakatmaja. You should see Sita as your mother. Now, in this way, Parshuram also got an order from Jamadagni that you should chop off the head of your mother Renuka. I mean, who would do it? But Parshuram knew that there is a higher order arrangement in here, that when my father is pleased, I will ask for Renuka to come back. So that is Parshuram's way. This is Lakshmana's way of following. He's bound to follow Ramachandra's order. That is his authenticity, even when he is not fully sure of how this will all unfold. That's at Lakshmana's level. Of course, from where we are seeing it, it's definitely a head scratcher. It's like, whoa, Lakshmana, so strong. But Lakshmana is one of those completely sold out followers of Ramachandra who will not question. He has this conflict in his heart for sure, but he won't question. He will question in this one, that one, or say certain things, and you'll see he'll never question Ramachandra. He's only facilitating Ramachandra's mood here. Now, the side part is the reason Ramachandra speaks to Sita Devi after the war in such a way is a way to correct her for the harsh words she spoke to Lakshmana. And in sending her away to the forest, generally we use the word sending her away, but actually it's not sending her away. It is, he has done it in a way that obviously looks from the externals of it as if he is deserted her. But actually, Lakshmana took her to Valmiki's ashram, who is Sita Devi's brother in an indirect way. Because Sita is born from the earth, Valmiki is also considered the son of the earth because he's come from the anthill. So in olden times, the wife would go to her brother's house for delivery of her child. So Ramachandra said, so from different angles, there is rationality in it, but in the emotion of it, it's not visible. And Lakshmana has that very difficult order to carry because he is the cause or he's the instrument for this very long separation to happen. 11,000 years or 10,000 years of separation. For 1 year, when they were separated, Lakshmana witnessed Ramachandra being completely distraught. Completely. Imagine that for 10,000 years. So there are multiple pieces acting to understand Lakshmana's authenticity. And from different levels of, the physical, the metaphysical, the spiritual, they're all acting. So he's being authentic for all of them at the same time. So it's very complex. So Lakshmana likes to deal with and is an expert at complexity. And therefore, when he builds that hut for Ramachandra, Ramachandra gives him a tight embrace and says, Dharmagyena, Kritagyena, Bhavagyena. You've been able to read, you've been able to do the right thing, and you've done it excellently, but you've also read my heart.
I really appreciated what you said in the question answer session during the authenticity retreat to one of the questions I asked. And you said that, sometimes we try to apply models that we are learning or we're familiar with to scripture or to scriptural events, and then we're a little bewildered. So yeah. I want to share with you, something I've been thinking of is when there's a tall order in front of us, let's say, it's a call where we can rise up to beyond just, our comfort zone.
Sure.
In that, we want to find our need. So we're connected with our needs so that later we're not blaming, oh, it's because Maharaj said, so I did it, right? So I want to be connected to my needs, even when I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and rising up to a tall order. And so I was thinking of Lakshman from that, empathic communication needs perspective, where he doesn't want to do these things, but he somehow rises up to the occasion. Could you comment on that, Prabhu?
Yeah, so let's talk about the model that we are studying, particularly you and I and others, that in the Maslow's hierarchy, the top is self-actualization, or we say Krishna consciousness. And persons who are elevated to that level, they don't mind if the lower needs are not met. It's not even there for them. It stops being a need for them anymore. Rupa Sanatan, etc. They had no need for food, shelter. It was not a need. Clothing. It's very much a need for me. It's not a need for them at all. Of course, I mean, who am I to talk about myself in the same sentence, but you get the idea. That need is not there. The need for appreciation is not there, because when last night we were reading, Rupa Narayan came and challenged Rupa Goswami. He said, I'll just sign the certificate that you've defeated me. Go away. I don't need it. So at that level, their need is to please Krishna to whatever extent required. And as I'm speaking, my thought goes to the gopis were told Krishna has a headache and he needs the dust from his devotees' feet. Take it. You'll go to hell. That's okay. We can go to hell if it relieves us, if it relieves Krishna's headache. So it's that pinnacle of Krishna consciousness from where they're operating. So for me, from down here, that's way up there. And Lakshmana is way up there.
authenticity looks different at all these levels?
Depending on what level of need one is fulfilling, it looks very different.
Thank you.
It has always fascinated, yeah, you're welcome. It's always fascinated me that in Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is speaking about there should be, acts of work, recreation, sleep, eating must all be regulated, which means everyone should do a little of everything in a way that is balanced, if you will, right? And in the purport, Prabhupada gives the example of Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami that they never slept, they never ate. It's such a contrasting set of examples for that verse. Because Prabhupada is showing that, at this level, they're all, distributed in a particular way. And at that level, is a different set of needs and operating.
Thank you so much. Since the retreat on authenticity, I feel like I've been going through a midlife crisis, and Lakshman has been on my mind. So this is like crystal clear. Thank you.
Well, you're very fortunate if Lakshman is on your mind, because he's Lakshmana. He brings all the required auspiciousness in one's life.
Thank you for bringing Lakshmana into my life. I mean,
Lakshmana, Lakshmi Vardhana. That's the reason he got the name.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. This is Paramur Palas.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All praise to Srila Prabhu. So, Prabhu, when you were distinguishing between Yasha and Kirti,
Tilaka was. I was just reading it.
So, is that an ecstasy of the Acharya that is kind of making that distinction, or is it a generally accepted sort of difference? My mind is going to the definition of Bhagavan, where Yasha is used, not Kirti is used. So technically, Kirti should be used.
Yeah, you can think of it as a special ecstasy where they're shining some light in these words. In the case of the Supreme Lord, because he is famous in the entire creation, whether it's Yasha or Kirti, they're synonyms. And that word Yasha came from Parashara Muni. And in fact, anyone with those 6 opulences is termed as Bhagavan. So Bhagavan in one sense is a generic title. Therefore, in Bhagavatam, we hear that Narada is addressed as Bhagavan. Lord Shiva is addressed as Bhagavan. Sometimes when someone is addressing Lord Brahma, they say Bhagavan. So yes, those opulences, the 6 are there because Bhagavan means the carrier or the person embodying the bhagas, the opulences. So it's not so much semantics. This is just a way of expressing Yasha and Kirti, although they are synonyms.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, in 3rd canto, 24th chapter also, the same kind of mention comes, which uses also Yasha, the definition.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you for the clarification.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my Prabhuji, I have 2 questions.
Hey, Kirti is asking question.
I'm still a little confused on why Ravana decided to abduct Sita when Rama was not present. His whole scheme is to abduct Sita, and when Rama is not looking, or he was not in the presence, in the absence of Lord Rama. While in Lanka, he seems to boast of his own prowess, and he keeps saying that these 2 humans are insignificant. He doesn't give any credence to their valor or greatness. even after they kill Karadushna and Trishina. So why did he hatch such a plot of he could have instead abducted Sita in front of Lord Rama if he had so much faith in his own valor?
I have two sets of answers for you. So first, Kirti, did you play any sports when you were younger, or any interest in any team sports?
Yes, Prabhu.
Which one?
I was always spoiled sport.
Okay, well, which sport though? Which sport did you spoil?
I used to play ball badminton. It was like
Okay. All right. All right. So let's pick any sport. Let's say badminton, right? And in India, Kanda-Ch40-41 is very popular. I may also be playing badminton at the whatever school level, state level, where. And sometimes when I watch Kanda-Ch40-41 and he misses a point, like, man, the choice of shot was not right. Right. Among my little group, I can boast of how much I know. But in the universal arena, it's a different ball game altogether. Second, Shurpanaka has come and told him that your enemy is Ravana. Okay. Your enemy is Ramachandra. And Sita is more valuable than his own life. So the best way to hurt an enemy is to hurt them where it hurts the most, or to hit them where it hurts the most. So rather than fight and sweat and spend blood, the easiest way is to just hurt Ramachandra by taking away his wife. And if he does it in the presence of Ramachandra, then there's a lot of fight, too much work. Rakshasas like to enjoy, not work hard. If someone challenges their prowess, then yes. And therefore, this whole plot of getting Rama and Lakshmana away, it's easy work. He just has to zoom in, carry Sita, and go away. Second, Marica told him that he is Narasimha. He is the lion among men. So when a lion hunts, the hyenas, have you seen how they go eat part of that flesh that the lion has hunted? One hyena will come and bite or annoy the lion here. When the lion turns his head to bite or growl at this hyena, that hyena will come and take a little piece of flesh and run away. Because a hyena cannot face a lion in battle like that. So this idea of stealing someone's wife or someone's property, the coveting that, is very hyena-like. And true to such mentality, the action has to follow. If you have a thought, action has to suit that thought. If he had the thought of valor, then he would have gone and demanded Ramachandra for a fight. But that was not the act. It was not an act of valor. It was an act of coveting. And so the action matched the thought.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Do you have time for another one, or shall I?
Yeah, one final one. Sure.
Ravana seems to be sending Marica on a suicide mission. The way he was explaining itself, he was saying, at some point, Rama will shoot the arrow, and when he does, you shout in the voice of Lord Rama calling for Lakshmana. So the whole plot, the way it was described for Marica is that he is going to die by the arrow of Lord Rama. But then again, he says, there is glory, you go, I will give you half my kingdom. I didn't understand.
I mean, it's empty talk. It's like, this is the Treta Yuga jihad conversation. He's recruiting him as this jihadi,
Yes, Prabhu.
right? And he had heard so much about Ramachandra. So what is wrong in making a promise? Oh, if you come back alive, I'll give you half the kingdom. When he knows he may not even come back. He's very specifically telling him, when he shoots an arrow at you, you're supposed to say, Ha Sita, Ha Lakshmana. Right? So for a
Right.
person who's going to die, isn't the jihad promise that if you kill yourself, then 72 virgins are waiting for you there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Who sees? I mean, who knows? So Ravana has recruited Marica into this massive jihad plan. Half my kingdom is waiting. It's all yours. It doesn't
Thank
make
you
any
so much.
sense. All right. So let's end here. Thank you. Let our meditation be on the wonderful glory of Sita, Rama, and Lakshmana, who appear in this world and go through all this inconvenience of, although deserving to live in the greatest of opulences, served by millions and millions of servants who are constantly praying, and the sages, the demigods. They live in very difficult conditions in the forest, wearing tree bark, being abducted by a nasty demon, crossing the ocean, all as a way of staging for us in front of our eyes the very plight that we are in, and the very plight and the horrible condition we've put ourselves in by these very unsavory choices that we have been making for millions and millions of years and lives. So very kindly, they put themselves in the inconvenience to draw our attention towards them and to slowly, gradually develop a sense of distaste from the materialistic type of thinking and acting, and that our minds and hearts are attracted to these wonderful personalities and their devotees. Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.